Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, cross-cutting issues also that we saw among the 5 state agencies was poor governance and weak internal controls. There were delays in appointments of the board of directors. Honorable Speaker, there is a tendency by the executive to delay appointment of board of directors of the various state corporations, and particularly what we noted was the issue of KEMSA did not have substantive board chair since 9th of October 2015, following the expiry of the second term of the chair, and did not have a substantive chief executive officer from 1st January 2017 to 30th June 2018. Honorable Speaker, it defeats logic that a state corporation can exist without a chair, and yet we needed to spend, we needed to be accountable. And moreover, like the issue of KEMSA, where there was no chair, no CEO for a period within which we are stating, Honorable Speaker. Further, Kenya Veterinary Board's tenure for the Board of Directors dated 20th March 2021, and a new board had not been appointed as at 30th June 2021. Honorable Speaker, that's a big difference, variance that required we need to have a board in place. Honorable Speaker, what did we do? Our recommendation was within 3 months upon adoption of this report, let the Inspector General Inspector of State Corporations, with the help of National Assembly, should initiate the process of amending the State Corporations Act to make it clear that no entity should be allowed to make any financial commitment without properly constituted board. Honorable Speaker, there were also matters pending in court that were cutting across. The committee observed that a number of litigations concerning ownership of land, the state corporation, and other legal matters have been pending before the courts of law for long period of time, despite resolution of the House through previous PIC's reports. Honorable Speaker, you find so many, out of all these 5 state agencies, they have matters in court which are dating back some to 2008 to date, and they've not been resolved. Honorable Speaker, as a committee, we felt in our recommendation that the Inspector General's Inspectorate of State Corporation to carry out a review of all entities with pending court cases, prepare a comprehensive status report, and submit to the National Assembly with a copy to the Attorney General, who will initiate the process of fast-tracking the conclusion of the cases within reasonable time, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there is also the cross-cutting issues on delay accountability of interest. The committee noted that some state corporations were in breach of Section 71 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 and in their attendant regulations that require surrender of interest within 7 days upon conclusion of the assignment for which the said interest was issued. Honorable Speaker, what we saw cutting across is that most of these agencies take as long as beyond 7 days. Some take 2 years, some had even 4 years without surrender of interest. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, where the state agent has not surrendered interest, the committee recommended that the accounting officer, to ensure interest advanced to officers is surrendered within the stipulated period, and the Honorable Speaker, that within 6 months of the adoption of this report, the accounting officers who will have failed to take necessary steps to ensure that all outstanding interest within their jurisdiction are recovered from the due date should be surcharged the full amount due. Because, Honorable Speaker, the onus of collection of interest is by the accounting officer. And if the accounting officer fails to recover the interest, Honorable Speaker, let him be surcharged. Honorable Speaker, let me now look at the specific issues that affected specific institutions. Kenyatta National Hospital, Honorable Speaker, had issues with unconfirmed borrowing balance. Honorable Speaker, the issue was addressed in the previous PIC. However, it contained in the 24th PIC report. But, Honorable Speaker, the National Treasury and the KNH were yet to reconcile. Despite the fact that it had been captured in the 24th report, they were yet to reconcile and come up with a true figure of the status of the loan. It has taken, Honorable Speaker, a loan which was taken in 2006 to have the subsidiary grant agreement to be converted from an on-lend loan to an on-grant loan, Honorable Speaker, that was fully signed on 4th of August 2022. However, Honorable Speaker, the board's approval for passing the necessary book entries to correct the anomaly in the financial statements was granted in September 2022. Honorable Speaker, there was also the issue of land under property, plan and equipment. Honorable Speaker, there is a parcel of land, Honorable Speaker, at Kenyatta National Hospital that was excised off the main land of KNH. The committee observed that the plots were irregularly, Honorable Speaker, excised and allocated to third parties in previous years. The matter was discussed in the 19th PIC report, but Honorable Speaker, National Land Commission was yet to effect the recommendations of PIC. Honorable Speaker, the second issue on the issue of land under KNH was that the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, Honorable Speaker, had taken up the investigation of the land on the foresaid land, but it had not finalized on the matter, Honorable Speaker, as at the date when we are reporting this PIC report. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, we felt further to the 24th report recommendation that within 3 months upon adoption of this report, the accounting officer of the National Land Commission, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, the Inspector of State Corporations, KNH itself, Honorable Speaker, and the Committee on Implementation to fast-track, Honorable Speaker, the process of implementing the committee recommendations in the 24th report. In the 24th report and our report thereon. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, combining the resolutions of this report together with the report of the 24th PIC report to be fast-tracked since they are the same. Honorable Speaker, there is also the matter of inconsistency in depreciation of assets. Honorable Speaker, the hospital erred in applying the reducing balance rate of 30% instead of the prescribed straight-line method of depreciation, which misrepresented, Honorable Speaker, the carrying value of computers and related accessories. Honorable Speaker, in the next report which we'll be looking at, this effect is there, such that, Honorable Speaker, the hospital adopted the straight-line, adopted, Honorable Speaker, the reducing balance method of depreciation, which brought most of the assets to zero. And, Honorable Speaker, without anticipating debate, this observation is reflected in the next report, where they depreciated assets, Honorable Speaker, to 1.4 million shillings, and an asset of 146 million was sold at 1.4 million shillings. It is in the report that's going to come. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, what do we say? Our recommendation, Honorable Speaker, is the committee reprimands the then accounting officer and then officers in the accounting and internal audit departments involved in preparation and review of the financial statements for failing to adhere to the requirements of IPSAS, that is International Public Sector Accounting Standards, as prescribed in the PFM Act Cap 412A. Honorable Speaker, the hospital as well also had unconfirmed NHIF fund receivable balance, which is now, Honorable Speaker, the reconciliations between NHIF, what the NHIF was demanding, and themselves, Honorable Speaker. This reconciliation is yet to be finalized. It's yet to be finalized, Honorable Speaker, despite the fact that, Honorable Speaker, NHIF is now collapsed into SHA. Honorable Speaker, the next agency we looked at Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Because of the many issues, Honorable Speaker, I had on KNH, I had to go now to the next issue, next agency. Honorable Speaker, the other agency we looked at as Kenya Medical Supplies Authority, that's KEMSA. In specific issues, we have issues with the staff costs. The committee observed that a similar audit query had been raised in 2016-2017, and our current observation, Honorable Speaker, are as follows. One, the board had approved establishment of 341 staff, and in financial year 2016-17, the KEMSA had 329 in-post staff after receiving 40 more in financial year 2017-2018. The post figure stood at 324 against an expected staff figure of 369 if no staff had exited. However, KEMSA did not provide any documentary proof for that the 45 staff had exited KEMSA in 2017-18, either through retirement, natural attrition, dismissal, or resignation. This could lead to existence of ghost workers. Honorable Speaker, we went through and came up with the following recommendations: that within 3 months upon adoption of this report, the Auditor General should carry out a comprehensive special audit on the staff and payroll of KEMSA for a period of 5 years for 2017-18 to 2021-22, both years inclusive, to establish the status of staffing and report to the National Assembly on the findings. Should the report establish any irregularities, then accounting officers should be reprimanded and held accountable for any financial losses during their tenure. Honorable Speaker, there was also the issues that we picked up on expired drugs. That, Honorable Speaker, a similar issue which is recurring year in, year out, was cited by the PIC in 2016-17 and discussed in the 22nd report. However, our committee, Honorable Speaker, notes as follows: that one, the expiry of drugs was not due to breach of contractual terms, but due to change in drug regime, indicating that poor planning by KEMSA. The agency should ordinarily know which drugs are obsolete and which drugs are going to be introduced into the market. Honorable Speaker, KEMSA has the ability to know when is the drug going to expire, but they decide, Honorable Speaker, to have one way of disbursement of drugs, such that if that way is not observed, then they cannot do any other way. So, Honorable Speaker, by virtue of being rigid in decision, it caused the agency, Honorable Speaker, to have a huge stock of drugs which are expired. Honorable Speaker, KEMSA cannot even go on its own way and say this medicine or drugs which are about to expire might be donated, might be given to any needy institution. Instead, it has to go one way. I think the opinion of the committee was, Honorable Speaker, that KEMSA needs to be versatile and observe that likely challenge. KEMSA indicated that they had devised strategies to determine the demand of drugs from across the counties, which included constant engagement and collecting data to avoid the expiry of drugs, as well as other strategies, such as prioritizing on shelf life of drugs. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, what did we recommend instead? The committee then feels that the accounting officer should be reprimanded for laxity in minimizing wastage of public funds, though procurement and stocking of expired drugs. Honorable Speaker, it's a decision of the accounting officer to know for how long is he procuring the drugs, and the drugs are being procured whose shelf life is of a particular duration. That, Honorable Speaker, within 3 months upon adoption of our report, the Auditor General should carry out a compliance audit on procurement of drugs, stocking, accountability, and the destruction of expired drugs by KEMSA for a period of 5 years from 2017-2018 to 2021-2022. Honorable Speaker, that within 3 months of adoption of this report, the management of KEMSA should submit to the National Assembly a copy of the documented strategies approved by the board and the Principal Secretary, State Department of Medical Services. Honorable Speaker, what also has come out of the inquiry we did on the board expenses, Honorable Speaker, was the issue of the board expenses. Honorable Speaker, the response by KEMSA was too general rather than addressing the specific audit query raised on sitting and lunch allowance, Honorable Speaker, of 1.6 million shillings paid to 4 board members, which were not supported by invitation letters and minutes of the meetings held. Honorable Speaker, 2, KEMSA has continued to experience serious governance issues arising from deliberate lack of substantive office holders as indicated. KEMSA has not had a substantive board chair since 9th of October 2015, following the expiry of the second term of the then chair. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, what do we recommend now that they did not have the chair, but they went ahead and spent money on the board expenses? Honorable Speaker, our recommendation is that the committee then reprimands the CS for failing to bring to the attention of the appointing authority the vacancy of the board chair and the CEO. There was both lack of the board chair and there was also no CEO within those times of period. Honorable Speaker, that within 3 months upon adoption of this report, the PS Ministry of Health, in collaboration with the Inspector of State Corporations, should ensure that the then accounting officer who authorized the payment of the sitting and lunch allowance at 1,660,999 to the 4 board members, which were not supported by invitation letters and minutes of sitting, is surcharged for the amount so paid. Honorable Speaker, there was also the issue of land that we observed in KEMSA, that the committee observed as follows. The agents are taken time to register the title deed, despite having the necessary documentation in place. The situation has not changed over 7 years now. Down the line, the committee was concerned that KEMSA had engaged Priority Management Limited as conveyancing experts through KTK advocates to handle the issue in the financial year 2012-2013, but so far nothing positive to show with regard to the land ownership documents. Honorable Speaker, KEMSA had engaged the services, professional services, but to that date of audit, there was nothing, yet those professional services had been paid for. The lawyers contracted to register the leases and title deeds for lands belonging to the KEMSA as per the second PIS report had been paid approximately 2 million shillings then for the titles registered. However, the total payments to debt could not be established, and the consultants or lawyers could not have had to draw money from KEMSA with no corresponding services rendered.
Honorable Wangwe, I think that's a convenient point to disrupt your moving of the motion. You have 37 minutes to go. I'll request, direct that you stop there as a convenient position, reorganize your thoughts for the next continuation, and call upon the minority leader to move the motion of adjournment. If the motion of adjournment is allocated 1.5 hours, so it will be done by 5:30, then you'll proceed from where you have stopped. Thank you. Junaid Mohammed.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move motion of adjournment on a definite matter of urgent national importance to discuss the threats by the former Deputy President on the recurrence of post-election violence in the country. Honorable Speaker, I rise under Standing Order 331 to address a grave and urgent matter that threatens the very peace and unity of our nation. The incitement of citizens to post-election violence by political leaders, especially by the former Deputy President. Honorable Speaker, our country has made significant strides in strengthening our democratic institutions since the painful memories of the 2007-2008 post-election violence. We have built a constitutional order, Mr. Speaker, anchored in our Constitution, which provides lawful, peaceful, and democratic mechanisms to resolve electoral disputes. Let us not undo that progress, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Article 37 of the Constitution guarantees every Kenyan the right to assemble, demonstrate, and picket peacefully and unarmed. But that right ends where violence begins. No leader, including the former Deputy President, Mr. Speaker, has the right to manipulate public sentiments to incite unrest, destruction of property, or the loss of innocent lives. Honorable Speaker, we are all aware of the tensions that arose following the announcement of the 2022 general elections. We witnessed legal challenges filed in the Supreme Court, pursuant to Article 140, and we commend all parties who chose to pursue justice through institutional means, as is expected in a constitutional democracy. Honorable Speaker, be that as it may, in recent days and weeks, we have seen reckless utterances from the former Deputy President, utterances which, whether intentionally or by negligence or out of foolishness, have slowly begun to incite pockets of unrest in parts of this country, especially in the areas surrounding Wamunyoro and Wamadira area. Honorable Speaker, let it be known that words have consequences. And when leaders stand on podium or go live on national televisions and call for confrontation instead of dialogue, they betray the very people they purport to represent. Honorable Speaker, Section 13 of the National Cohesion Integration Act, number 12 of 2008, criminalizes hate speech and incitement to violence. It is not a suggestion, it's a law. And that law must be enforced uniformly and decisively, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, you will have his time to say something. Why can't he just wait? Yeah, you can oppose the motion. Honorable Speaker, we recall the sorrow with sorrow.
For the guidance of the House, Honorable Jeanette, you have 10 minutes.
Yes.
And every other speaker to the motion, 5 minutes.
Oh, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, we recall with sorrow the 2007-2008 post-election violence, which over 1,000 lives were lost and more than 600,000 people displaced. We vowed never again, but never again must be more than a slogan. It must be a commitment upheld by this House and its members. Honorable Speaker, let me be clear. We do not oppose peaceful protest. We do not silence legitimate dissent, but we will not condone the mobilization of youth into mobs, the stoking of ethnic division, or the incitement of citizens to turn against each other. Kenya is greater than any political contest or individual's ego. Mr. Speaker, I call this House to condemn in the strongest terms any form of political incitement, violence, displacement of people, and hate speech. But having said, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, it is very sad. It is a very sad thing to have somebody who has served as a former deputy president of this country to incite people to violence. But Mr. Speaker, I am very happy also because this House, in its own wisdom, impeached him. Now it is coming very clear to the people the kind of person we impeached and the reasons why we impeached. Mr. Speaker, the person we impeached is the same person who is inciting Kenyans to violence, is the same person who wants displacement of people, is the same person who is propagating hate against one community, against one another, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is the same person who last week was telling musicians, very noble people who are doing their work, using their talent, Mr. Speaker, not to sing unless they support certain cause of politics, Mr. Speaker. A small man called Nguroia. Is called Nguroia or what? Nguroia.
Yes, hold on. What's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, I rise on Standing Order 34, and I would like you to confirm if we have quorum to transact business today. Thank you.
Honorable member, your point of order is invalid to the extent that you have quoted a wrong standing order. Go on.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for that is interruption. Mr. Speaker, I seek you for your protection, Mr. Speaker, because I am still moving the motion, Mr. Speaker.
Order, take your seat.
I'm still moving the motion, Mr. Speaker. I seek your protection.
Go on.
Mr. Speaker, this person that we impeached as a House, Mr. Speaker, overwhelmingly, with over 300 members of this House, Mr. Speaker, is the same person who is telling Kenyans that unless you follow this direction, unless you follow this party of mine, unless you follow this, wild thoughts of mine of discriminating against other people, you will not be valid, or you will not be a valid Kenyan, Mr. Speaker. You will not be a valid citizen of this country. Mr. Speaker, this is a house that addresses matters of concern to the people. That is our mandate constitutionally. And if we do not arrest this matter, as Swahili people say, usipojenga ufa, usipoziba ufa utajenga ukuta, Mr. Speaker. If we do not arrest this matter as early as now, Mr. Speaker, this is a man who has lost his head, this is a man who has lost his soul, and he wants to take this country to the precipice so that people can fight, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I take pride because I did not know I was impeaching initially a man of this type. I never thought I impeached him based on gross violation of the Constitution and other things. But now I've realized, Mr. Speaker, madness, mental problem is not walking naked in the street. You could be dressed in your suit, Mr. Speaker, with a tie, but you're a madman, Mr. Speaker. That's what I've come to realize of late, Mr. Speaker. Because a leader of that type, a leader who wants to lead a political party in this country, cannot say, now what's happening, Mr. Speaker, he is almost making a region of this country look like an alien in this country. Very soon he wants to fence it off, like the Aberdare forest. That if you want to go there, you must get permission from him, Mr. Speaker. You cannot go and visit even your relatives there. You cannot even visit your people there, Mr. Speaker. You cannot do any politics in that area unless you get permission from him. Mr. Speaker, I want to say this. This country has experienced this, and we will not allow it to repeat. We will not allow it, Mr. Speaker. Every Kenyan has a right to live, to do politics, to do business anywhere in this part of the country, Mr. Speaker. Whether you are in Migori, Kakamega, Busia, Nyeri, Muranga, Embu, that other place, Kilifi, anywhere you want to do anything in this country, there is freedom and guaranteed by the Constitution. So, Mr. Speaker, the other day, we have constitutional commissions that we have given ourselves in this country, like the NCIC, the National Cohesion. They have summoned the former deputy president. He has refused to appear. He's above the law. He's above the Constitution. He said, I cannot appear in that commission. And that is a commission that is taxpayer.
Give him 1 minute to finish.
Mr. Speaker, my time is 15, according to the standing orders.
10.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker,
Wind up in 2 minutes.
NCIC has summoned that suspect, Mr. Speaker. They have told him to appear so that he can answer to the allegations of inciting people against each other. He has refused to appear. Mr. Speaker, he's now trying to use human shield. He's trying to use people to commit crime, offenses that can take people to Hague, to defend himself, Mr. Speaker. If he's invited by the DCI to record a statement, he refuses. If he's invited by NCIC, he refuses. If he's invited by EACC, now who is going to protect us from this monster, Mr. Speaker, called Rigathi Gachagua? Who on earth is going to protect us from this monster, Mr. Speaker? Who's going to protect us? Because the government looks like it's unable to take an action against him. Mr. Speaker, if this government was formed by ODM, this man would have been in jail by now, I can assure you. I can tell you for this one without any fear of contradiction. Mr. Speaker, I want to ask Kenyans not to listen to insightful people, not to listen to people who want to divide them according to their tribes, not to listen to people who have formed regional, tribal, ethnic political parties, Mr. Speaker. The country and the Constitution does not allow formation of ethnic political parties or religion, Mr. Speaker. What this district commissioner's party that has been formed the other day is an ethnic political party. You can see somebody talks about my community, village, or Munyoro. Talk about Kenyans. Political parties are formed for purposes of enhancing democracy by bringing all Kenyans and all communities as part of that political party, Mr. Speaker. With those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I want to use the strongest terms to condemn the former embattled, malicious, impeached Deputy President, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I request the majority leader to second me.
What is it,
Yes, Gogoyo. What is your point of order?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I raise understanding order number 35. Mr. Speaker, the House does not have quorum to transact business.
Clerk, how many members do we have? We have 38, 39 members. We need 11 more members. Yes. Ring the bell, the quorum bell, Sergeant. Yes. But we have enough members there, they will come. Yes. Order, honorable members, we now have quorum to transact business. Honorable Majority Leader, proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And let me take this opportunity first to thank the Leader of Minority for this motion of adjournment, which I fully support. Because, Honorable Speaker, you remember in the run-up to the impeachment of the former Deputy President, I quoted a good friend of mine who described somebody as having a very black heart. And I dare add today, this is not just a man with a black heart, but a very dark soul. And a dark soul, Honorable Speaker, to the extent that this man believes that the death of Kenyans, the bloodshed that this country witnessed in 2007, as unfortunate as it was, Honorable Speaker,